it seems as though there's bipartisan movement on George Floyd's police reform bill and infrastructure too.
That's right, mate. And, this is very much in the vein of President Biden shaping himself as a transformative president, much as, FDR did in the Great Depression with the New Deal and Lyndon Baines Johnson did in the 60s, by taking a moment in American history and using it as a way to recast the country. And that's happening in two major areas potentially right now. And that's on infrastructure and on police reform. The feeling is, both within the country and arguably on Capitol Hill, that the moment has arrived for both. Now, first on infrastructure. President Biden has proposed a $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan. He says America is so far behind the rest of the world, that's what it's going to take. But the question that's dividing people is, what exactly is infrastructure? The Biden plan includes human infrastructure. For example, they're arguing there needs to be more support for home care for the elderly because workers are being prevented from taking employment because they're caring for their elderly parents. So if we support them there, we free up more of the labour force. Whereas the Republican Party is taking a more traditional view of infrastructure, that it's about bridges, road, rail, water and broadband. Now, that's one area where both parties agree on infrastructure. So the Republicans have proposed a $600 billion traditional infrastructure plan. And today on the Sunday morning talk shows, we heard from both sides that they're willing to move their positions. A key Democratic senator said that he considers the Republican proposal a good start. And key Republicans have said that somewhere here in the mix, there is a sweet spot for infrastructure and that a deal could be done here somewhere. And it's a little bit similar for the George Floyd policing reform bill. Now, one of the sticking issues is a legal protection for cops so that they aren't individually and personally sued and risk losing their houses and their cars and their super. Now, that's been one of the major points that's divided the negotiations. Well, we heard today there might be movement on that point. One of the key Democrats behind the bill said that they're not going to allow this point of disagreement to blow up the entire bill. And top Republican, Senator Lindsey Graham, says that he thinks that if there is enough will, then we can find agreement on police reform. And he said he believes that will exists within both parties. So who knows? There's a chance that we may see some movement on these issues. And in polling that came out today, President Biden has a 52 to 54% approval rating, so that gives him a little bit of wind in his sails, even though that's a level far below where most presidents are at this point, except for President Trump. We also saw that there's broad support for his infrastructure plan. 49% of Americans not only favour it, but 56% of Americans favour raising corporate tax to pay for it. So we may indeed be seeing some movement on both of these major areas of infrastructure and police reform.
Okay, Michael